Good day, everyone. This is David Ellis, and I'm here with a very long-time friend of mine, Laura Massey. Laura Massey and I go way back. She is representing the Pain Management Clinic. That is in the United Kingdom. For those of you who are going to be going over there, you need to look up this lady. Hey, Laura.
Hey, David. Great to be here. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Laura, tell everyone about the Pain Management Clinic before we start.
The Pain Management Clinic is something that's come off the back of David Ellis and Andrew Bartzitz, and I believe they started a combined healing or integrative healing probably about 10 years ago, David. Am I right?
Yep. It's been 10 years. Oh, wow, it's a decade now. Wow.
Yes, I know. Wow. So I then trained with Andrew, did his mentorship, went over to Barbados, and we experienced what we called then combined healing. And then Andrew came to the UK and he brought with him his awesome Lucia Light number 3. And we worked hard together over here with some others, and we did combined healing therapies, and we were able to purchase some pulsed electromagnetic field mats for PEMF therapy, which is something else we do at the clinic. So on the back of that, we decided we needed roots here in the UK. We've been touring the North and York for a year or so, on and off with Andrew, having spectacular results with this style of healing, which is integrative, combined or blended. So you're using several modalities, either all at once or one following the other. And that's the key to what we do. So we decided we need roots here in the UK, and I'm down the south of UK. Long story short, Andrew will tease me about I wanted to put a horse box or a garden shed in to have one massage table and have clients in that way, as I've been doing for my cranial sacral. Yeah. And we decided to go big. So we found rooms in a local golf club. So we're at Hare Manor Golf Club in Amring, near Littlehampton on the south coast in the UK. And we have 3 rooms up there. One of them is now a Lucia Light studio, so it's completely dark, which anyone who knows the Lucia Light knows that is fantastic to have a totally dark room for the light. And we have 2 other rooms that we use the PEMF in, the Lucia Light, deep tissue massage, cranial sacral therapy, and on it goes. Many other modalities that we combine.
Okay, and your clinic is located in a golf country club. Very posh, Laura.
It
Very
is. It's a superb venue. It came about because my son is in property and he plays at Hare Manor. He plays golf, and Andrew kept saying, "Ask your son, ask your son." I'm like, no, I want to do it myself. I want to be the independent woman and not ask my son. And of course, as soon as I asked Matthew, he said, "Mum, there's some rooms at the first floor of the golf club." So it's a perfect setting because it's quiet. We have views of the golf club. We have this sort of suite of 3 rooms plus a reception room. It's local. It's in the suburbs. And we're surrounded by trees. I mean, and there's a beautiful pond. I think I sent you some photos, David. A lovely lake with a fountain, and the ambiance is absolutely right. But there's a cafe that my clients can use downstairs. The setup is lovely. The golf club couldn't be more supportive. And, you know, this is something that, we looked at doing, but didn't think we could do it on that scale. And because I was a little bit of a boomer, and I was a little bit of, Andrew would say a bit of a 50s housewife, a little bit meek, and didn't want to put myself out there, didn't feel confident. But we've been there 14 months now, and it's changed me. It's the way we run the clinic. I've learned so much from that, and the type of clients we have, they've changed, and we've all learned from each other. This is what I love so much about having a grounded space for your practice?
Yeah. So I want to get into the different modalities that are being offered there. Okay, so I'm going to start with one that I'm not as familiar with as you would be, Laura, which is the craniosacral therapy. Tell me about that and tell me how it's helping your clients.
Okay, craniosacral therapy, a very gentle, non-invasive, hands-on, where you are going to connect with your inner wisdom, with the client's inner wisdom. And people think they can't do it, but do you know what? Everybody's got inner wisdom and everybody can do that. So, and clients do return their inner wisdom to you. And just if you think, I mean, hands-on techniques have been going on since the dawn of time. So I trained with Upledger. Upledger is a particular, and I think the most, probably the most used form of CST. I could be corrected on that, but I did the training in the UK to do the craniosacral, and there's protocols that we follow, and you can also develop it more yourself, which is what I like about it. So basically, you are working with the client's nervous system, because everything really, if you think about it, comes from the nervous system, or the, the flight and fight and all that responses, everything from the nervous system. So if you can calm the nervous system in particular places where you're following the craniosacral fluid, which is like our body's internal oil that goes up through the brain, nourishes the brain, back down the spine. If you can put your hands in certain places where this passes through, and other places on the body, you can feel in to how this fluid goes around the body, up and down the spine and round the brain. You can feel how it does it in a rhythm. It actually has a rhythm. And what you're looking for when we put hands on people, we're looking for that to have some sort of symmetry, left and right side of the body, for balance. You're looking for the amplitude, how expressive this is. You're looking for the rate, how fast or slow it is, and you're looking for the general quality. So the craniosacral rhythm is what we work with, and there was two ways. They used to think it was made through it was created through like a pressure stat model of filling and emptying within the brain. But recent research, I think through Thomas Emerson he did research recently, and has now the latest theory that this is now really like the neurons in the brain are the ones that it's like an internal, the word I'm looking for is like an internal rhythm that goes on that is triggered by the neurons. So they've changed how they look at this, but it doesn't change how we palpate, and it doesn't change how we put hands on the body, what we feel. And there's no manipulation in it, but under your hands, a practitioner will feel movement. You'll feel the fascia, you'll feel the bone, you'll feel muscles. So it's a wonderful, gentle way of helping people come to balance and to get their own body to take over the healing, because that's what it's all about, isn't it?
I see. And, the nervous system being the mother of all pain, or the transmitter of all pain, or the recognizer of all things that are wrong inside your body, that would be essential for a pain management clinic. Absolutely. Knowledge of the nervous system. Okay, so let's talk about the Lucia Light. Now, when Andrew and I were researching this construct, the Lucia Light is a hypnagogic light. People will probably ask, what does this have to do with pain? But you just heard Laura talk about the nervous system. What are your impressions of the Lucia Light, how it works, and so on, based on what you're seeing in your application? You're using it mainly for pain management, correct?
Yes, we use it, I should think, just about in every session. And let's face it, it's also a wellness tool and an expanding consciousness tool. But since you ask about the pain side of it, Yes, because what we have learnt is that the more relaxed you can get a client, the more they are able to handle their pain. Not just that, the more we are able to talk to them under this hypnagogic light, as a form of hypnotherapy, if you like, so we can reframe the way they see their pain, the way they see their life, where they have to work out how to lead as normal life as possible with the pain. So the Lucia Light is an amazing tool for getting somebody deeply relaxed, but at the same time, it's paradoxical. It can make you deeply relaxed, but also give you more clarity.
Correct.
Yes, doesn't it? Give you more focus, make you more creative. Now, all those things start to put pain in perspective, let's say. So
Correct.
It's almost like a form of distraction, because what happens, we know, is we get in pain and then we focus on that area, and then we get more pain and we focus on that area, and everything just becomes, you are one big pain body, you know, in the end, when you keep focusing and it takes over your whole life. Well, using the Lucia Light and with some hypnotherapy, or without, because I will say the Lucia Light can work as a standalone modality. It's wonderful because it's taking people deep into their subconscious, maybe where there isn't any pain, and they can maybe get the feel of what it's like not to have that pain. And that's one of the things we do under the Lucia Light. I might do some hypnosis and take people to their favorite place, or take people to a time when they didn't have pain. And at the time when they didn't have pain, they start to open the neural pathways where there was no pain. And it can change and reframe pain.
One of the things that I find that the Lucia Light does, you're right, the reframing is very important. And here's a little bit of a knowledge bit that I found, is that when people concentrate on pain, pain is something that is unpleasant. And you guys can try it at home if you wanted to. Like if you stub your toe and you concentrate on your toe, that pain is a lot bigger than if you stub your toe while you're tending to, I don't know, changing the baby's nappies, as an example. Is the perspective where you're coming from. If you are a completely idle person with nothing to do and you stub your toe, that pain is a lot more than somebody who is a really busy person going through, I don't know, caring for another person, as an example. Not that either one is preferable, okay? But by that same token, it shows you that there is a certain amount of perceptibility that goes into pain, okay? I think what the Lucia Light has been doing for my clients, I deal with clients who are at certain levels of the cancer journey, okay? And what it has been doing for them in terms of assisting clients with cancer is allowing them to get into the mind space to accurately affect healing. And this is something that I want to discuss with you, Laura. There are people who say affirmations and they don't know how the affirmations actually work, but they figure, I'll just say it because, you know, some therapist somewhere told me to say this at least 3 times a day, like, I don't know, magic pills, and I'll do it. And I want to say to you guys who are watching this, affirmations are not just words that you say because your therapist asks you to say them, but you have to get into the mind frame where the affirmations become your internal reality. The problem with that, Laura, is that getting to the internal reality, they can't do it. A lot of people are, how should I put it, trans-handicapped. They are trans-handicapped. You would think that trans would be a secondary, it should be a natural thing. Everybody goes into trans, but they're only in trans when they're in the cell phones. The ironic thing about the cell phones is that when you keep relying on the cell phone to put you into trance, nature can no longer do exactly what it is that a cell phone does, because the cell phone hyper stimulates you.
Yeah.
So it literally makes you handicapped. For those of you who are doom scrolling social media right now, you're actually handicapping a part of your brain, just so we're clear. Now, I think what the benefit of the Lucia Light is that when you put somebody under a Lucia Light, the trans handicap goes away and they're able to get into themselves such that they can actually meaningful say, I am here to heal, I am healed, and I am whole, which is a big difference. And I think from the point of view of when you're talking about pain, I think a lot of people tend to just say these affirmations like, I'm healed and I'm whole. Like I just said it, like, does that mean that that is the case? Does that mean that my mind believes it? Does that mean inside I believe it? Right? And here's the problem that we're having with them, because there's absolutely a psychosomatic component to pain. And a lot of people miss that because we're living in a world where people are becoming a lot very trans handicapped. So, and I want to just take a little note because we've known each other for a long time, Laura. I want to take a little note here. You and I have had some kind of practice, meditative practice before. And it's getting more and more difficult to teach people how to meditate.
Yes. Yeah.
That's not happenstance, is it? Are you seeing this?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. So I think the part of that is there's such instant gratification with the doom scrolling and the everything being in clips and so on. So people have become addicted to entertainment rather than to their own healing and rather than to going any deeper. So on the back of what you're saying, part of the problem I find is when people come, first of all, you've got to break through that fog. There's almost like a fog around them, whether it's, you know, sort of the electromagnetic field that's going on, you know, or the fact we're surrounded by computers and phones and all that. There's some sort of breakthrough from that point of view, and also for them to work with you, because some people come and they want to hand over their healing to you just like they buy something from Amazon. You know, it's a quick fix. Can you do this for me in one session and I'll just lie there. And one of the things, it's sort of educating the client to, like, we're in this together. I'm a facilitator for your healing. I'm not the healer. Your body is the healer. Your body knows how to heal. My job is to get you into such a relaxed and trusting place, trusting your body, trusting me as the practitioner, trusting yourself, that you can start to break through some of these programs that are holding back your healing. Because so much of this and the pain is because we get in our own way. As you know, we won't, do you know what it is, David? We won't let down. And I've been there myself. We will not let go or let down. We're in this super fast, instant gratification, just speedy life, which is where the meditation is so good. But people now need help, as you say, to find meditation. People don't have time for meditation. And it's always that famous saying, isn't it? If you can't find time for meditation, you definitely need to do it. Correct. So the Lucia Light is just this great tool for helping people get to that meditative state. But then it's what they do with it after that. And that's the guidance of the practitioner, isn't it? Otherwise, they just all go back to their busy lives and nothing changes. So it's educating them in a way.
You know, it's kind of hilarious to me. In my clinic, I do meet some people who have never heard of meditation before. Okay. And the mat in my office has a brain entrainment system attached to it, specifically for those people. And when they actually understand what relaxation is, they're like, what have I been doing with my life? You're right. And they don't understand that is the natural state. What you're doing is the unnatural state. And this is what we're talking about here. Now let's skip back 30 years ago, okay, when we were talking about relaxation and meditation techniques and stuff like that and getting people into themselves and so on. Skip back 20 years ago. This was an easy thing to teach. People understood kind of what we meant, right? You mean it's like going to sleep? I sleep well. It's not a problem, right? Nowadays, I find like one or two people sleep well. Most people are in this hyper aware state. They don't even sleep well and they don't know that they don't sleep well because you ask somebody, have you been sleeping well? I wouldn't know what the difference is because they've been in this state for so long. And
it's become a norm, hasn't it? It's just become normal, like having an injury or having pains in your neck, and you know you've got pains in your shoulders and neck, and somewhere in there it says go and get a massage, but you don't. You just don't do it. You don't do the self-care because you're too busy. Is the normal thing that people say. I'm so busy, I haven't got time. But you have time to put up with the pain.
You have time to put up with the pain, and you're like just keeping it trucking. And I suspect that's what general world systems want you to do, to keep it trucking, be a productive member of society, right? Keep it trucking, pay the bills, get to work, right? Industrialization must go on. And it goes on at the cost of individual health. And this is why clinics like yours is very, very important, because a lot of people don't know the difference between health and dishealth. Okay. So there is that aspect. I want to move on to the PEMF mat that's inside your office. Now, your office is one. I certainly use a PEMF mat almost with all of my clients. And that is a communication system as well, because you see, it's not only the mind is not communicating with the body and connecting with the body, it's also the body and parts of the body are not communicating with other parts of the body as well. It's like you have a family, your mind, your cells, and so on, and the family's not talking to each other. They're not eating together either. They're not talking to each other. That's not a family.
No. They're scrolling.
They're scrolling. So your mind is doing the scrolling thing. Your body's doing like, I'll digest whenever you finished, right? Right? Because we're using the same energy and same cause, but when you're done, I'll finish digesting the Pringles that you chose to eat because they were right there. Right? The nervous system is like, did you see that on social media? Oh no, we're in a war again, right? Or some nonsense like that. The nervous system is doing its own thing, even though the mind is calm while doom scrolling. Oh, look, we're bombing somewhere else, or you're doing this, or whatever the case may be, right? And the whole system is in disarray because none of the body systems are in unison on anything whatsoever.
No. It's scattered, lost cohesion, lost harmony, which is what, to be fair, the Lucia Light brings that back. Craniosacral brings that back, and the PEMF does. So you can put all those together and you can start bringing bodies back into the natural harmony, the natural harmonic way of being.
The way I describe it to clients is that imagine that there is a superhighway and traffic is in a serious traffic jam after 5 o'clock on an interstate. You want those cars lined up and moving in one direction. You want traffic flowing. What you don't want is traffic jams in various sections of your body. And so what the PEMF mat does, it creates a scenario where there's synergy between the cellular system of your body.
Yes. So all the cells can communicate better. They swap the sodium, potassium, and so on better. I think the beauty, or one of the beauties of the pulsed electromagnetic field, non-invasive, over here it is approved by NHS. It's wonderful advanced technology. I mean, we've got Swiss Bionics, which do some incredible work in PEMF. Is it reaches every cell and it wakes up every cell. So it wakes up the mitochondria, those little batteries in every cell. So we find it works really well with, say, fibromyalgia, because in fibromyalgia, your cells have all gone flat. With arthritis, it's great for that. Or with back pain, or even with depression, with people feeling a bit low. And then again, put that with the Lucia Light, put that with some hands-on modalities, and you're getting people relaxed and getting them brought to balance at cellular level. Now, that's huge, isn't it? Because if you think the Lucia Light is working here to get you into that, is it delta theta state? The hypnagogic state. So it's working to get you deep and in your subconscious to let go of those programs. And the pulsed electromagnetic field, if you're lying on the mat, is working all over.
Yes.
So it really complements the Lucia Light.
A lot of people don't understand the importance of cellular communication unless the cells decide that they're doing something that is disadvantageous to them. So for those of you who are getting lost in the complexity of the conversation that Laura and I are having, you have little workers inside your body called cells. We all did this in biology class. What you don't know, each cell is its own little person and its own little unit in and of itself. Okay? And you need to feed the cell, and you need to take care of every cell in your body. Now, the way that you take care of the cells and feed them is, rest, as an example. Rest would be nice, okay? But it's like if you have a bunch of workers and you've decided to move them from a 12-hour shift to a 16-hour shift. Not only are you going to move them from a 12-hour shift to a 16-hour shift, we're going to decrease the lunch break, and we're going to make sure that the cafeteria is only filled with stuff that they don't like. Yeah. There will be a point where those cells go on strike. What's worse than that, you have an unsafe working environment because you're eating a bunch of stuff that is poisonous to your workers. You're telling them, you know what, we're going to process some heavy metals right now. We're going to just feed you some uranium, some cadmium, some nickel, whatever the case may be in your system, some aluminum inside your system, and guess what? You're not getting any protective gear to work with those. This is exact analogy of what is going on in your system. So eventually they will unionize and go on strike.
Yeah. And
you are literally in a labor dispute with your body's healing system and your body's workers. Yes. And that is the best analogy I can give you as to what is going on in health today. It is the best analogy I could give you, because here's the thing. When you decide to negotiate with those workers, aka get some rest, get proper nutrition on board, stop your mind from sending top level negative communications down to your workers saying y'all are not working as well. And I'm talking to the people with body consciousness issues here, right? Oh, I'm too fat. I'm too slim, right? I'm too skinny. I'm not big enough. Let me just stick myself with some steroids. You guys, y'all need to come to some sort of armistice with your cell system. So what Laura and what I'm offering at Unified Health Systems here in Regina is a system that allows your cells to actually get what they want, okay? Because it's not one modality that's going to save the day. Sometimes it might be a combination. But I can tell you, modalities aside, what you decide to do with your workforce is very, very important.
Yeah,
It's very,
agreed.
very important for your
Yeah.
continued survival, for the survival of the company, which is you, just so that we're clear.
Yes.
Yeah, so from what I can tell in terms of the PEMF treatments that I've done in my office, people wake up feeling very refreshed more than anything else, and they feel like, yeah, I feel a lot better in the moment. Yeah, because you gave your cells what they wanted, and they gave you back what you need. Because all that energy that you have right now is because you negotiated.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the first session often we find is you clear all that electromagnetic smog around them that we all carry. So that's, you sort of can spend an hour clearing that, and then it starts really intensively. So I would always recommend more than one session, but I would anyway. That the training with the Lucia Light teaches you need possibly 6 sessions, and then you really start making a difference. It doesn't mean to say in one session you can't make a difference, but I think when you go, you book a series of 6, let's say, then I think you're really going to start making inroads into your own health and into the balance of the body. And the PMF is wonderful because it works with the crystallized water in the fascia, David, as well.
Correct.
Is something I learned recently, which makes it really is something that our body really gels well with and reacts and responds well to. And I'm going to say here, low frequency pulsed electromagnetic field. Correct. Because my understanding is that you can get some incredible overnight results with high frequency, but I don't believe there's enough scientific or evidence-based information out there for me personally in the clinic to look at high frequency.
Yes.
Would you agree?
I agree, absolutely. I'm waiting for that to be researched, but in Canada, as an example, PEMF mats are accepted by Health Canada, and that's why they're for sale. For those of you who are interested in PEMF treatments, and you guys think that you can get a simple PEMF mat at, I don't know, the local drugstore, I want to warn you about these mats, okay? It's important to have variable frequency in a PEMF mat. Variable frequency means, I'm sorry, because we've seen this. People go and say, they're talking about PEMF mats. I saw one at the local drugstore. I saw one at the local wholesaler and so on. These mats are locked into one frequency. Okay? Best case scenario, you're going to be living on that mat for effect. Worst case scenario, you might have a condition that actually requires variable frequency. You've decided to spend the $100 that you've gotten on the cheapest mat that you can find, and it'll break in about 3 months because the quality of the mat is important, which is why you want to go to a professional to get PEMF treatments done, because frequencies are variable based on what you are experiencing. In the mats that Laura and I are talking about, Swiss Bionics, they actually have a guide inside the computerized system that determines the frequency output of that mat. Okay? It's not just plug it into the nearest outlet and hope for the best, right? Yeah. We actually control the frequency, and it varies based on what that person is requiring or what that person needs at the moment. So for those of you who are buying cheap mats and thinking, this is a bunch of hogwash, you actually haven't experienced professional PEMF before. Okay.
Yeah, do the research, really, isn't it? And the biofeedback comes with the Swiss Bionic one as well. Correct. So we can look at our clients' heart rate, oxygen, but most importantly, I think really important, is the heart rate variable, which tells us how easily they're moving between their sympathetic and parasympathetic. In other words, how easily they can relax. And it can be quite a challenge at times to get people to relax enough to move that figure from 1, because it can go to 7, and then you can get people who it will go to 7 pretty much straight away because they are nice and relaxed.
Yes, but it gives you a system of measurements to rate their progress when under PEMF treatments. Speaking about evidence-based treatments, we have incorporated red light therapy into the mix. Now, I don't know why red light therapy is still a thing that people think about. Let me see if I could explain this to you. Red light therapy has been researched since, I don't know, like the 60s. We've been researching red light therapy and its effects with regard to healing people. So I want to just take a little bit of a segue here to remind everybody who's listening to this broadcast, you are a plant. You may be a very carefully organized plant, but you're still a plant. You need light. You absolutely do need light. Okay? And I'm talking to those of you who live in basement suites with the blackout curtains. You need light. Okay? So I don't care how you get the light. It would be a nice thing to get some light every once in a while. The problem is that people don't get as much light as they would like to. I certainly lived in a place where, light is a luxury sometimes, especially during winter, right? And so a lot of people suffer from what they think is depression. But you are a plant. So you're going to need like light for your bones to grow and stuff like that. It's just the way it is. And people know this because they go to biology classes and they say, okay, you got to get that vitamin D in, and you go out into the sun, you get the vitamin D. Guys, without light, healing becomes sluggish, and you don't heal as quick. It could be a simple cut from shaving, or it could be a broken bone. You simply will not heal as quick. It's as basic as I can get it. Okay? You are like your plant. You take your plant, whatever it is, unless it's a sansevieria or a cactus, because, that's what I have because I kill everything else, right? You take your cool plant and you block it off from light for a little while, see what happens. That's what happens to you. It happens at a slower rate, but that's what happens. So what red light does is allows your cells to heal a lot quicker. That frequency of light allows things to heal a lot faster than they would normally. Okay? And so that's why there's a body of research on how red light therapy actually affects the body. And there's documented cases where it has reduced the span of time for healing by at least 40%. So I suppose it's the choice is yours. I mean, like, something is wrong. I don't want to see too much light. Well, take a few months to heal. This is basically what that is. Laura, you're using red light in your clinic, correct?
Yeah, we use the infrared lamp, which is great for anything, but for when the guys are massaging, and they put the lamp maybe down on the knee area where they're working on the top half of the body, and then move it round. So, the person with the bad knee is getting some of that intensive relaxation and deeper wound healing, if you like, before they actually come and massage. We can use it at the same time as the Lucia Light. It's not a problem. And on the pulsed electromagnetic field. And now the more recent Swiss Bionic PMFs have infrared built into them.
Correct.
But we just have a separate infrared lamp. But yeah, infrared is brilliant, and something else to use in the clinic. So if you think about it, the person could be lying on a pulsed electromagnetic field mat, be under the Lucia Light, be having massage, can have CST, and can have infrared. So that's 5 modalities that a person can have within an hour to really get that nervous system under control and to get them relaxed and to start the real job of getting that body back into harmony.
And it's actually kind of funny, and I'll tell you why I'm laughing at this. Is because the same way I warn people about cheap versions of the PEMF mat, I don't know why I should have to do this. Let me explain something to you guys, okay? A lot of y'all are using LED masks. You know the red light mask that you put on your face that looks kind of like the Phantom of the Opera? Guys, oh my gosh. I want to say a few things there. Skincare is very important and light is very important for your skin, okay? There are LED masks that work. They absolutely do, all right? If you want a list of good LED masks that work, let me know. And then there are a bunch of scammers out there that will take regular LEDs and put a red frame over them so it looks like a red light therapy mat and put it across your face, and it will absolutely 100% damage your face. It will absolutely dry it out, damage it. Your skin is like, what is this fluorescent nonsense? You might as well be kissing a ring light. So, for heaven's sake, please do your research, right? Because then you're going to end up in an office like mine. I do medical aesthetics to repair the damage that you did with your LED mask. And this is something that is happening to a lot of people. So please make sure that you are dealing with reputable. They're not going to be as cheap. So if you see an LED mask for $20, I'm gonna say it probably is not gonna work in your best interest. So there is that. As the good thing about it is that, well, at 20 minutes, but 20 minutes, some people will overdo it, right? Some people will take the cheap mask, put it on their face for an hour, and then damage their faces, right? When you're buying red light devices, check to see if they give you information on the frequencies, right? If there is no information on frequency at all, the light frequency at all, then there is a high possibility that you have bought junk. And it's not good junk, it's junk that will actually harm you. I don't need to tell you guys that sitting in front of fluorescent lights or under fluorescent lights for a long time will cause you brain fog. Please don't put it directly on your face, guys, please. So in terms of red light therapy, you could use it to heal broken bones quicker, abrasions, obviously, basically damage to the skin. The good thing about certain kinds of frequencies of red light is that it goes through your body completely all the way through. And you're probably wondering how, because light is not what you think it is, okay? Because Laura and I, we've been experimenting with light and sound therapy for many, many years now, right? And in your clinic, you offer a very interesting sound therapy that I saw yesterday with the sound baths. That's an event that you guys have, right?
It is, yes. We thought we'd take the sound baths to the next level and have the sound and light bath, which I can't see anybody doing. So it's other than you, David, which is wonderful because we take the Lucia Light and we set up a room of about 10 people, I think, no more than that, and 3 or 4 large gongs from a local guy, Dylan, who does the gongs, and his harp too. And we do have surround sound, but the gongs and the Lucia Light really do gel well together. And people just go to another place. It is so deeply healing because we know sound is healing.
Yeah, it is.
So combine that with the deep state that the Lucia Light puts you into, and then you really do have a special place. So something, yeah, we've just started to do at Ham and a golf club. Not the most likeliest thing you'd expect to find in a golf club, but hey, you know, we're game changers there.
No, I have actually been to a few sound baths out my way. Um, I'm going to shout out to Sundance Robson here and his partner Karen, the Kraken. And so I've been to a couple of sound baths out my way, and it's been incredible. I cannot believe, because life is frequency, isn't it? Even
Yeah.
the communication between yourselves requires a certain frequency. The thoughts coming off of your head right now is in a particular frequency. Everything is frequency. And if you have a certain mastery of frequency, you have a mastery of basically everything that is important to your health. Okay. And a lot of people don't seem to understand that. You can take a plant and you could eat the plant, and there's a frequency between you and that plant. Or you could take a plant, send it through a bunch of processes, and there's a frequency between you and the medicine that came from that plant. It's 6.5 dozen at the same time. What I want to say is, in terms of healing sciences and so on, I think we've come to a stage in health where it is no longer a question of whether or not something is conventional or whether something is alternative. We've come to a stage where a lot of research has been done, right? There used to be a fight between the conventional models, right? So I'm a hyperbaric oxygen therapy technician. There used to be a fight between the conventional models where you had people in their arrogance believing that the way we think is evidence-based, is replicable results and so on. And then you had a great gaping chasm between the alternative medicine practitioners. Okay. But I'm seeing now that there's more integration in these sciences. They see more integration because, to be quite honest, I think health services, whether it be the NHS or Health Canada, are overrun with dysfunction and dishealth and a lot of disease. And they have realized that maybe the preventative route, stopping people from getting sick, may be the smarter option than spending trillions of dollars on, restoring people's health.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because I think the NHS in England, like from the stats that I'm seeing coming out of the NHS, it's a lot. You guys are very overrun out there. And I'm not sure, like, I can't remember England being in this much of a health crisis. Why is this, Laura?
No, England is in a bit of a pickle.
It is.
It's in a bit of a pickle. So, yes, without going too in depth about anything, yes, there's a lot of people here requiring treatment, and the people that I've come across in the NHS are wonderful, wonderful doctors and nurses who do a great job. Mm-hmm. That's what I'll say, having had sort of 2 TIAs and acute myocarditis. Mm-hmm. They have been brilliant, but the support behind it is not there, or let's say the investment into equipment, and we're talking this cutting edge technology that we're using, is not there. They're a little bit behind on that front. So they do have some wonderful equipment, but there is this other equipment, guys, that also works. And we get plenty of people who come to us when there's nothing else to be done. They're told from the NHS, we can do no more for you. And we think, come on, you haven't had pulsed electromagnetic field therapy. You haven't had this. You maybe haven't had cranial sacral. Some people, David, haven't even had a deep tissue massage ever in their life. And there's not many doctors or nurses who will really say, go and do that, because that's not in their training. So, just something basic like a deep tissue massage can make a lot of difference to somebody. Mm-hmm. So we seem to pick up these people where nothing else has worked. And then we're looking at getting to the root cause of something. not from the medical point of view. So there's no competition. We're not, we always say, and it's due diligence to say, if we're concerned, please go and see your doctor, get a medical opinion, and so on. But what we will do is help holistically help you get to your body to a stage where it can heal itself, because we believe it can. And we have had tremendous results from that point of view, using this great technology and using our inner wisdom that we all have, our training and so on, in all these modalities. And I just think the fact that we can provide people with a safe space, and it's cheaper than private health. They have a safe space, it's quiet. And the other thing that we add to this that you've just mentioned, David, is sound. So not just in the sound and light baths, but we have sound system around the actual massage table. So say a client will come in and have a massage while on the pulsed electromagnetic field. And then when we turn them over on their back, they can have the light, they can have their feet massaged or whatever at that time. And we put the surround sound on. And sometimes I can do CST or just a little light hypnotherapy. But do you know what? When you put the right music on, and that has to be almost a practitioner's judgment, you put the music on that will move them enough but not overwhelm them. And it's not always, we do use Reiki, dimensional music. It's great. We do use the softer side of music, but there's times when you're looking to shift some trauma in the body. You're looking to find a somatic release somewhere that's going to help these people. So we put on sometimes operatic, sometimes musical, like the music of the night. Barcelona's a great one. It's powerful music. It's really, when you put that on a surround system with the Lucia Light and everything else that's going on, you get shifts because the music is vibration. It's frequency.
Yes, and your mind recognizes certain kinds of frequency. We've seen this that's actually research. Your mind recognizes certain kind of frequency. Certain kinds of frequency your mind does not recognize. I'll explain. Well, I can give you an analogy here. For those of you who are listening to this, I don't want you to get caught in the high-level discussion. So I'll break this down for you all very simply. Would you rather listen to Enya, or would you rather listen to the sound of white noise coming off of a television turned all the way up for an hour? Your mind will immediately gravitate to one kind of sound and not the other, right? If you are part of the small percentage of people who said, well, I actually like the idea of white noise at like 35 decibels and up, blasted in my ear, that sounds actually quite relaxing. If you're part of that group of people, we have a spaceship for you somewhere that will take you off planet, because you obviously need, listen, white noise will mess you up. Just so that we're clear, the frequency that you get off of your television screen, your cell phone, that's equivalent to white noise for your body. That's the equivalence in light. So what we're trying to do in a lot of these sciences is preventative healthcare. And I want to just say this last thing here, right? Because we're reaching the point in our interview where we need to close. When we're dealing with integrative health sciences, when we're combining modalities, whether we're integrating them, combining them, using them as a synergy, we're only working with one statistic. I keep telling people like giving out statistics. You only need one statistic. The statistic that you need is, if you can avoid getting sick, you could improve your health 100% of the time. Work with that statistic, and then you are a lot better off. So do the things that you need to do to stay in good health. And don't think of health as something that you need to think about when something bad happens. Think of health as something that's an ongoing process that you are trying to maintain to stay in this frame of mind, right? You are not, look, even a train that's on a bunch of tracks, the tracks need maintenance, or else that train will derail. So think of your body in those kinds of analogies, and then you will have at least the fundamentals of a good plan, a good strategy for long-term health. Laura, last words about your clinic.
Well, if you're going to come to us, please don't plow through the pain and keep going. Please come to us before you get to that stage.
Yes.
Or visit David, or get help from somewhere. You cannot work through pain by adding to the load on your body, which I see happen so much. Please don't martyr yourself. You've got this body, your temple, however you want to look at it. Please look after it. Give it the nourishment it needs. And preempt anything that could happen. Get regular massages. Shift that energy around. Even if you feel well, you can still feel better, or keep your body going longer. Get some craniosacral, great with the nervous system. Learn to relax. I've had to really work hard to learn to relax, and it's done me so much good. It's helped me with the issues I had, the TIAs and the heart condition. Relaxing, using pulsed electromagnetic field. Look for some of these cutting edge technologies that, combined with hands-on, that human touch, are really the road to healing. And, light and sound combined are our future healing modalities. So look for that too. And just look after yourselves. You're worth it.
Okay, excellent. Laura, give these people a way to contact you in case they want further information about your clinic.
Yes, please look up www.hammanorwellness.co.uk, HAMMANOR. You'll find our website with phone numbers on and how you can contact us there. Thanks, David.
All right. Thank you, Laura. And we will see you guys in the next episode. Take care, guys.
To a place truly divine, spiritual tools and healing hands await, opening up a brand new gate. Such as to a haven we have found, where seekers gather on sacred ground, for passion shared and spirits bright. Pain and song, bathing in sound and pure insight. True connection here is always found. For every seeker on the way, we welcome you to come and stay. True connection here is always found. For every seeker on the way, breathing sound and pure and stay. Where the prairies meet the sky, there is a haven where the mystic spirits fly. A little shop of wonder shining bright, guiding seekers toward the inner light. Gemstones gleam with ancient hidden power. Oracle readings mark the destined hour. Metaphysical supplies for every need, planting seeds of magic, watch them feed. For healing hand, charging up your space, they offer wisdom with a gentle grace. Gemstones gleam with ancient hidden power. Oracle readings mark the destined hour. Metaphysical supplies for every need, planting seeds of magic, watch them feed.